We will now introduce lesson 27 on the PL stem. The characteristic of the PL system is strengthening or doubling in the form of a Dagesh forte of the second consonant of the root. That's why some grammars may call it a D stem or a Doppelstamm, to use the German, because it in all the strong verbs, at least, will double that middle consonant. So picade is the perfect. Ye pacade is the imperfect. Vav consecutive is the same, except with a vav with a patah and a well, you try to double the yod, but you can't double the yod because of what's called Schiemann-Levi rule, in which a sibilant, a kof, a yod, a mem, a nun, or a vav that has a dagesh in it followed by a vocal shavah will often lose its gemination, will often lose its doubling. And that's what happens with the vav consecutive here. And then the jussive is the same as the imperfect, ye pacade. The coordinative is similar, except with a kamatz hey at the end. Again, a shabbat under the first consonant, although with a aleph, it ends up being a hataf patah. So pak kada would be the coordinative form. And then the pacade imperative is the same as, same as the second person jussive dropping the T. And then the me pacade is the participle with a prefix mem with a shavah under it. Infinitive construct is pacade, same as the imperative. The infinitive absolute can be pacade, same as the infinitive construct, though it can also have a O vowel, similar to the infinitive absolute in the cow, pakod, either spelled with the vav or just with the holum. So here's the paradigm of the strong verb in the PL. So you get picade, and then you get a picada. Picade is he appointed repeatedly. Picada is she appointed repeatedly. Pigata is you masculine singular appointed repeatedly. The and the ta and all the endings of the perfect are the same as the endings of the perfect in cow. You're just placing it on the peak stem, where you have a heric and a double, and at least begins with an A vowel, though it goes to an E vowel, sere, though it goes to a patah in the later forms. The imperfect, one of the signs of the imperfect is the prefix, the yod or the tav or the aleph will have a shavah under the prefix. The suffixes are the same as in the imperfect in the cow. So the second feminine singular would be prefix T, suffix E. It's just that what's in the middle is changed with the, instead of being tif kadi, it becomes te fuck kadi, and so on and so forth. Vav consecutive, we've already talked about. Jussives will be the same as the imperfect for a strong verb. And coordinatives, again, a prefix aleph, suffix kamatz hey. What the vowels in between are different. You get a shavah under the performative. Imperatives are, again, what you would expect if you take the form with a prefix T. You will appoint repeatedly. It would be a te pacade. Drop the T and you get pacade. And the same with all the other forms. Participle, as you add the endings, the pretonic sere reduces to schwa. Other than that, it stays the same. So again, some peculiarities of the PL form. When a vav consecutive is prefixed to a PL preterite, the yods will not be doubled. And again, that goes back to the Skeman-Levy rule, that you try to double it, but then when you follow it with a vocal schwa, it loses its gemination. However, if you have a prefix tav, the tav will be doubled because Skeman-Levy does not apply there. And if you try to double the prefix aleph of a first common singular, you'll get compensatory lengthening. The middle letter is sometimes not doubled if a schwa appears under it. Again, this is an application of the Skeman-Levy rule. Here's my Skeman-Levy rule. Any kind of a sibilant, it could be a samik or a sin or a sheen or a sadeh, a mem, a nun, a lamed, a vav, or a yod, any of those which are doubled followed by vocal schwa is prone to lose its doubling and the schwa becomes silent. That's the Skeman-Levy rule. Think of the Jewish Winter Olympic priest going down the mountain. Skeman-Levy, they say. Well, that's going to explain what happens with the perfect when you add the u ending on the bikesh with the bakash to seek. You theoretically get a form bik-kashu, but because kolf is a Skeman-Levy letter and it's followed by a vocal schwa, it loses its doubling and the schwa becomes silent. Same thing in the imperfect, where with the third masculine plural, the hypothetical form ye vakshu becomes ye vakshu without the doubling because of Skeman-Levy. When forms without suffixes are followed by makef, the sere may reduce to segol. So if you want to say kadeshli, which is make holy with regard to me, and you could connect it with a makef, well, the accent shifts forward and that becomes a unaccented closed syllable, and therefore it requires a short vowel, so it goes to segol. Well, like verbs in the cow, verbs in the PL can take object suffixes that get attached to the verb itself, and he gives you some examples. Kiddeshuni, they sanctified me, where you add a ni ending, the me, at the end. Or if you want to say I sanctified him, kiddashtihu. So you take the I sanctified and add the who is he at the end. I sanctified him. And same thing with he will sanctify me. You add an ani at the end of ye kadesh. The sere reduces to shava, but otherwise it looks like the imperfect before you added the suffix. They will sanctify us, same sort of thing, with the new added to the end, and sanctify them in imperatival form. Kaddashem, again, is pretty much as expected. Well, how do you translate the PL as compared with the CAL? Well, there are several usages of the PL. The one is factative, a verb that is intransitive or stative in the CAL may be given a transitive force in the PL. Or I like to put it this way, if you have a stative verb, the PL will produce the state of the stative verb. So Kadesh means he was holy. Kidesh means he made something or someone holy. He sanctified something. Gadol is he was great. Gidel, the PL form, means to make something great, to magnify it. Tameh means he was unclean, or could be he is unclean. But Timmeh, the PL form, means he made something unclean. He polluted something, and it'll take an object of something that has been polluted. So with stative verbs, the typical pattern is to produce the state of the stative verb. Another usage of the PL is the nominative. It may take a noun or an adjective and turn it into a verb. Kind of like in English, you talk about an object, a table, but then we table a motion. We've taken the verb to table something from the noun table. Well, you can do that here. So you have barakah, blessing, but then you have berech, he blessed. And it could be that what the PL has done is simply taken a noun form and turned it into a verb. But with shalosh, shalosh means three, but then the verb shilesh means you did something three times. Again, taking the noun and turning it into a verb. With active verbs especially, what the PL does, it multiplies the action, pluralizes the action of the cow. This is sometimes called the intensive meaning, but I think pluralizing is a better way of describing it, or multiplying is better than intensifying. So, for example, you have the verb to kill, katal. You make it PL. Kitel, it doesn't mean that you killed intensively, but it means that you killed repeatedly. You killed again and again and again. Well, anyway, with the cow, he gives you some examples. Shavar means he broke. Shiber means he smashed into pieces. He broke again and again, and broke it until it was lots of pieces. Sha'al is he asked. She'el means he begged. He asked repeatedly. The noun form rotsea is one who kills, is a participle. But the participial form in the PL is me ratseach, and it would mean not just someone who kills, but one who kills repeatedly, an assassin. And there's other miscellaneous nuances of the PL. There's iterative, so zabah, to sacrifice, can become zibah, he sacrificed repeatedly, sacrifice again and again. Zadak, to be righteous, can be zidek, to declare someone righteous. That's the declarative meaning of the PL. Then there is the privative meaning of certain verbs. So you have chata, he sinned, but then make it PL, chite, that means he cleansed from defilement. He cleansed from sin. He de-sinned you. Now, in the case of some of these rarer meanings, you'll need to go to Brown Driver Briggs and just look up and see what the PL meaning of it would be. So the PL of chata is 1, to bear loss, 2, to make a sin offering, 3, to purify from sin, 4, to purify from uncleanness. Well, anyway, we'll continue in the next video.